Can a pretentious song can change the history of music? Here is exactly what you need to know about Hit the Lights. If you think you know everything about Metallica, you should know Hit the Lights. Hello dears, I'm Ahmed Reza. I'm a music composer and a music fan, a music lover. Welcome to the review of that revolution. Do you remember the first time that you heard this riff? Me, neither, because I wasn't born then. But I know why it is historic. Why Hit the Light is the only song that could be in the first album of Metallica in the first track. The answer will tell you the whole story of young Metallica. I think Hit the Light has a special place and strategic music position on Metallica's first album, and a strategic musical position on Metallica's first album. So let's take a look to the history of Hit the Lights. Hit the Lights! Here I should mention the first collaboration between the Metallica members, I mean James Hetfield and Lars Ulrich, the two most important members of Metallica band. Yes, this song is the first collaboration between James Hetfield, the vocalist and the guitarist, and the Lars Ulrich, the drummer, who formed the core of Metallica. The initial ideas for the song were taken from James Hetfield's previous project, Leather Charm, and were eventually developed into a full-fledged work with the help of Lars Ulrich. Hit the Lights shows and proves the deep energy and excitement of the early days of thrash metal and the philosophy and purpose of Metallica band. Hit the Light is the pioneer of thrash metal. Hit the Light is considered one of the first thrash metal songs in history. Its punk-like energy with fast-paced riffs and aggressive structure defined the early formula for the genre, and that is the first and official appearance of Metallica. When was the first and public appearance of Hit the Lights? Hit the Lights was the first recorded work of Metallica. Interestingly, the band's name Metallica was misspelled as Metallica with two T's on the first pressing of the album. And there are two versions of the song. The demo version, No Life Till Leather, it is Metallica's first recorded work, the rawest and most garage-like version, showcasing the band's early energy. And the second is the album version, Kill 'Em All. It's the best known version, showcasing the band's completed sour sound with all of the characteristics introduced above. The song was released on Metallica's first official demo, No Life Till Leather, and also on the compilation album Metal Massacre in 1982. Let's talk about the name of the song, Hit the Lights. The title of the song perfectly expresses the energy and early philosophy of the band Metallica. This choice is very purposeful and symbolic, and it will reflect the spirit and the mission of the bands in the early days of their activity. The title, Hit the Lights, is an informal but commentary, while the literal and practical meaning of Hit the Lights is clear and we don't care about it. What does the title mean in the music world? In the context of live music, Hit the Lights is usually understood as a signal for the start of the show. When the lights go out, it is a sign that the main performance is about to begin and the audience should prepare for an energetic experience. And you know, the title is directly tied to the content of the lyrics and the spirit of the song. And what is the overall meaning of the song, Hit the Lights? This song is friendly statement about the power of rock music, a direct and energetic comment to get a start. The endless energy of live performance and the strong authoritative connection with fans. The lyrics speak of the painful pleasure of loud music and the madness of metal. And in the other hand, the beginning of a special concert and the beginning of a storm of sound and the beginning of a full-scale musical assault. And we have to look about the reason for choosing this title? Yes, what was the reason for choosing this title? The reason for choosing such a title is very smartful and insightful. The choice of the name Hit the Lights as a simple and powerful slogan is the mission statement of the young Metallica. It shows a sense of urgency, raw energy, and the band's desire to smash and take over the music scene. In general, if I were to summarize the topic of the title of this song, I would have to say the title Hit the Lights is not just the same name. It is not just a simple name. And as I mentioned, it is an energetic and symbolic slogan. The force simply and at the same time with the stunning power captures the core of the song's message. The lights going out as a prelude to a storm of sound and the beginning of a musical revolution called Metallica. Let's talk about the lyrics. The song's lyrics perfectly capture the fearless spirit of young Metallica and their confidence and the power of their music, and the deep and sweet energy, confidence and excitement of a young band that was about to shake up the music of the world. The powerful and repetitive line Hit the Lights in the song's chorus directly references the very concept of opening of a concert, and it is a rallying cry for the fans and a signal for the start of a wild and unforgettable performance. Hit the Lights and Metallica has a mission statement in what it is. Hit the Lights was the first song of Metallica founders, Mr. James Hetfield and Lars Ulrich. They both wrote this song together. The choice of the title was a kind of this statement. For this young band. The song and the title clearly announced that Metallica was ready to conquer the music scene with unbridled energy and bring metal madness to everyone's ears. It means until you become a rock star, you haven't lived yet. And you can say that I lived. And that is a fact. This iconic line refers to the rock and roll lifestyle. The clothing, the leather pants and leather jackets, and says that this place is all about the life. The high energy opening perfectly tells you the band's fearless spirit. Leather symbolizes the rock and roll lifestyle and loyalty to this culture. This verse refers to metal madness, which refers to band's musical identity. This verse showed the band's confidence and aggressive energy, and from the very beginning, they create a sense of musical assault that has an unstoppable energy. This section depicts the band's powerful and reciprocal relationship with their fans, and their screams are a sign of right direction and a confirmation of the energy. And this section emphasized that the band's boundless energy and commitment to the music. This repeated line conveys a sense of relentless movement and the band's commitment to the music. This line is a bridge to the song's climax, which occurs in the chorus, and the unparalleled loyalty of fans. In this section, the song explores the physical and psychological effects of music. The combination of lethal power and sweet pain creates an interesting contrast between pain and pleasure, showing that this music is violent and aggressive. It is also enjoyable for the listener, and indeed, Hit the Lights show how heavy music can be aggressive and enjoyable at the same time. The song's content, which revolves around the excitement of performing live, the power of music, and the connection with passionate fans, is actually a statement to showcase Metallica's identity in their early days, as I mentioned. Let's talk about the production. Musically, Hit the Lights defines the early formula of thrash metal, with the fast-paced riffs, energetic rhythm section, and furious guitar solos. And they performed by Lars Ulrich and Cliff Burton, and James Hetfield's harsh vocal. And this work, Hit the Lights, is the mission statement of the Metallica. Yes, and this is the first song. The high tempo combined define a pattern that many bands followed. The song opens with the mishmash of distortion and sharp, ear-splitting drums that immediately create an energetic and aggressive atmosphere. The production feels initially raw and unfinished, which conveys the band's original sound and fearless garage energy. And there's a one thing, there's a fiery song, the fiery guitar solos. Metallica's lead guitarist Kirk Hammett delivers face-melting solos on this song. These solos, built on speed and technique, have become a hallmark of Metallica's music. There's a complex rhythmic structure. The song seems simple at the first glance. It has challenging rhythmic details. Even a military march arrangement of the song notes the presence of mixed meters and challenging articulations for all instruments. At the first, we hear a noise accompanied by a destroyed guitar sound, but after a few seconds we realize that noise was not an original noise. That noise is the sound of drums, cymbals, and there is no noise. At the second 16, we hear a beautiful passage between the drum tones. Then we hear the guitar attacks with the drum support, which is like a volley of bullets. Now we hear the riff. We hear the passage and we hear a roar of wow! And that is the great intro. And we are entering to the first verse of the music. And how much younger and more childish Hetfield's voice was in the Metallica in the later albums. So in the conclusion, Metallica Hit the Lights is more than just an album track. It is the band's first artistic statement, laying the foundation for the thrash metal genre and paving the way for the band to become a global icon. The song is historically significant and iconic for Metallica. Yes, Hit the Lights is a statement I mentioned many times. That is an important thing because we must know this. Yes, it is an official statement of Metallica, a statement for a breaking news story. Yes, the breaking news, a statement to fulfill a mission and ultimately a profound and massive solo cultural artistic revolution in the rock and roll music industry. Hit the Lights show the passion and excitement of a fledgling band that wants to shake the world with their loud, violent music and create unforgettable music and create unforgettable moments and unforgettable music for their fans and especially for the world. I think, everybody, if we likes the music and if he or she doesn't like rock and metal music, but he maybe likes Metallica. Hit the Light has a profound significance and lasting legacy. This song is considered one of the first thrash metal tracks, as we mentioned, and paving the way for a new movement in metal and unprecedented speed and aggression. Hit the Lights show us how Metallica built Kill 'Em All was recorded under tight deadlifts and tight financial constraints, which directly impacted their production process, and interestingly, these same constraints allowed the final version of the album to retain the direct and unabashed live feel that was a defining characteristic of the first wave of thrash metal. Hit the Light is not just a song. It is a historical document of the music, historical document of the Metallica. It proves that the new revolutionary sound could be created by combining punk energy, speed and musicianship. While it may seem simple in terms of technique compared to Metallica later works, it is the same spirit and blueprint that defined one of the greatest bands in music history. صداهای درام فوق‌العاده است. این تامی که داره میزنه اصلا بی‌نظیره. صدای جیمز هتفیلد چقدر بچگانه بود. سنش کم بود دیگه اون موقع. چقدر درام خوبه و گیتار عالیه. ترکیب گیتار و درام فوق‌العاده است. سولو عالی. بسیار هم کار سختیه چنین موزیک رو تولید کردنش و قدیما چقدر هم سخت بود تولید موسیقی که هیچ چیزی الکترونیکی نبود تقریبا. عالی. Wonderful. So thank you to stay with me and watching this video, and see you soon until next episode of Music Talking.